My website is freehelpforcancer.com. Today I want to talk to you about radiation, which is not a happy subject. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because my daughter was diagnosed at the age of 7 with leukemia, and we spent 2.5 years going through treatment. During that time, well, actually from day one, the question was, how did she get this? What happened? What were causes that led to the cancer diagnosis? And of course, the doctors didn't have any answers. There were many theories, but nothing conclusive. Well, one day on the internet, I happened to find a video about radiation, and it piqued my interest. I watched the video. It was very heavy, and then I went and purchased books about radiation. So, what is radiation? First off, the radiation from the sun is completely different from ionizing radiation. What makes ionizing radiation different is it's atoms that have gone through a mechanical process, fusion, fission, either one, and the atom splits and it becomes energized. What that means is you have a very tiny particle that has, it's almost like a cooked shell on the outside, and a good analogy would be a mothball covered with toothpicks, just covered with toothpicks, and that is what ionizing radiation looks like, except it's so small that it cannot be perceived by the body. One of these ionizing radiation particles goes through cement. The only thing that stops it is lead, and when it passes through the body, it excites the cells around it because it's putting out energy, and it causes mutation. So, the United States has 250 locations, I believe that's the number, maybe it's 240, of nuclear reactor locations. These locations are putting out radiation every day, ionizing radiation, because the stacks have to be vented. If you just look up nuclear reactor venting on the internet, you will see the government documents stating they call it effluence, which means waste. Well, that waste is poison to human life. So now, cancer. Cancer is going to be the #1 killer, if not this year, next year, on the planet. It's going to beat out every other disease. Statistics are also saying that 1 out of 3 will be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime. 1 out of 3. Do you get the enormity of that? We are sitting in the 20th century plague. This is a plague. Okay, the other thing that people don't know is radiation also affects bone strength. It's linked to diabetes. It affects intelligence and test scores. So there's a lot more to this subject than you think. I actually had a medical doctor say to me on the telephone, who works for radiation.org, he said to me, well, you know why your daughter got cancer, don't you? And I said, no, I have no clue. He said, radiation. Ionizing radiation is what caused your daughter's cancer. And I was stunned. Then later I found out that my home is 74 miles away from a nuclear reactor site. Did you know that the closer you live to one of these reactors, the higher the cancer? Within 100 miles, the cancer statistics are higher. But you can't find statistics for, well, what about 10 miles away? What are those statistics? Well, I spoke to somebody that lives 10 miles away from a reactor, and the statistics are frightening. Okay, so here's some of my materials, my research materials. This book, I think, is the best book about radiation. It's called Killing Our Own: The Disaster of America's Experience with Atomic Radiation, written by Harvey Wasserman and Norman Solomon. You can get this book via Amazon.com for a couple of bucks. It's very cheap because it was written a while ago. Excellent, excellent read. Okay, the next book, it's called The Pet Cow Effect. Dr. Petkow proved that ionizing radiation is actually more dangerous to the human body than an atomic bomb. And this was written by Ralph Graub, G-R-A-E-U-B. And the secondary title is The Devastating Effect of Nuclear Radiation on Human Health and the Environment, the Petkow Effect. Not an easy read, but very educational. Okay, the next two, Atomic Harvest, Hanford and the Lethal Toll of America's Nuclear Arsenal, written by Michael D'Antonio. Okay. Deadly Deceit, Low-Level Radiation, High-Level Cover-Up by J.M. Gould. Here's the cover. The point is that the American public, actually the populations of the world, are being lied to. In my estimation, our country is driven not by government, but by corporations. And these corporations have the wherewithal to lie to us and perpetuate huge lies for their profits. And it doesn't matter if it makes people sick and people are dying. So I know this is very hard-hitting, but you can find all of this information if you search hard enough. My objective today is to wake you up, to try and get you good and mad so that you hook up to other organizations, you force yourself to read this material, and you take action. I am so tired of seeing people die from something that is completely man-made. Okay, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching this video.